Hello and welcome everyone. This is the Founder Scoop. My name is Jacob Lee, and today I have with me Clint Argyle.
Hello, Jacob.
How are you doing today, Clint?
Wonderful. It's good to be with you.
I'm so glad you're here. You always have such a very positive and upbeat attitude, so it's always fun being with you.
Well, I try.
So, for everyone that's listening, Clint, he's a mentor here at iHub, and he has a lot of experience in business. He has had many businesses that he started. He's had several exits, and they're all in different industries. So I'm really excited to hear kind of about your journey, what made you want to be an entrepreneur, and kind of why you're here at iHub now. So would you mind just telling me, like, what got you started on your entrepreneurial journey?
Well, thank you, Jacob. When I was young, say I was in my late teens, early 20s, I realized that the people that seemed to have money in my little observation were either doctors, lawyers, or business guys. That was my little observation, and I really had no interest in being a lifelong school person, being a doctor or lawyer. It seemed like way too many years of school. So I looked into business. I said, this looks really interesting. I like this idea. And I had worked at other places making money as a kid, and didn't really want to do that to get through school. So I was about 21. I went to my dad and said, Dad, do you have any business ideas? I want to run my own business. And he said, sure, why don't you go haul garbage? And I said, garbage? Neighbors and stuff like that? He said, yeah. The Boy Scouts stopped doing that as a fundraiser, and I'm hauling my own garbage, and I would buy your service. So do you have anybody, go see if there's anybody else who would do it. And that got me going on my entrepreneur path. I actually started 3 garbage routes and hauling garbage on weekends.
How old were you at that time?
I was 21.
21.
Yeah, that was my first business called Country Garbage. It still exists today, which is really fun.
Whoa, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. So, what kind of kept you going then? Like, you had this first idea hauling trash, and I'm sure you probably I don't know, did you love hauling trash, or was that just kind of something you did?
It was a means to an end. I wanted to get through school, and it was a way to help pay for school. So
Gotcha.
I was thrilled to say that I was able to use that income from that business, and I was able to graduate school and be debt-free. It was awesome.
Wow, that's incredible.
And then when I got done with school, I thought, and I had some more ideas. And I thought, I don't want to be a garbage man my whole life. I think it'd be fun to do some other things. And I had this idea of a technology training company. And so I had heard through school, my business school training, that you can sell a business and have some more money. If you have a profitable business, it's a really cool gig.
Yeah.
If you have a profitable business, it pays you along the way, and then if you sell it, you get paid again. I mean, how cool is that? Get paid twice. I like the model.
Yeah.
And so I did that, and I sold it to a friend of mine, Jay Meekum, and he still runs it today. It's his career. He's turned it into an awesome business. He went from residential to residential, added commercial, and then added roll-offs for the construction industry, and he's made a great career. And we're still friends today. It's really cool. And then I went from there, and I started a company called Keystone Learning Systems, which was a software training company, and ran that for 8 years, and then me and my partner decided to sell it, and so we were able to sell that. I stayed on for a couple of years.
Now, what kind of training did you guys do?
It was kind of like the early days of YouTube, actually, because we didn't have YouTube back then, and so we were putting video training and selling videos all over the country and actually around the world. And so we'd hire trainers, we'd videotape them, put them on a VHS tape. For all of you that know what a VHS tape was, we use those. And we put the trainers on those, and then we could ship the trainers, and people could watch and learn at home at their own speed or at work and learn how to use software. And now all of us just use YouTube to learn stuff. So go to YouTube University and stay tuned. But anyway, that was one of my second businesses. And then after that one, I went into a company called 123 Scrapbooking. And we did that one, and big lesson learned there is you have to validate how big a market is and figure out your TAM. Mm-hmm. And we didn't do that, and we grew it to a certain size, and we couldn't get past that size. It was just that's how big that market was, and it wasn't big enough for all the partners. So we downsized, basically. One of the partners out of the several took it and ran it as a family business, and they ran it for several years and did fine with it.
How many partners did you have?
We had 4 on that one.
4?
Yeah, and we had to shrink it from 4 down to 1, and we took our lumps and our losses because there was losses in that one. By the way, Jacob, I'm not one of the people that can say everything I touch turns to gold. I'm one that some things turn to gold, some things turn to not gold at all, and I have to shut them down and take my losses and go try something else. So I call myself a serial entrepreneur because I haven't been able to do 2 or 3 at the same time successfully. I have to just focus on one.
Yeah.
And I must be a little bit ADHD or whatever you call it, because I keep doing different industries because I find things interesting. And so I try different things. So I've been in, I don't know, 5 to 10 different industries in my career, started multiple different companies. I find I like partners as well. I do better with partners that complement my skill sets. And so I tend to have partners in my different businesses.
What are the skill sets that you have that have really helped you as you've started all these businesses?
Oh, wow, that's a great question. I think that I really like operationally. I understand things, how to get goods and services from A to Z to my customers. Marketing and sales, those are some of the things I've learned really well. Figuring out solutions, working with partners, those are some of my skills. I'm not really good with HR. I'm okay with finance, but I like to have somebody that knows finance a lot better than me on the team. And a lot of times the creativity part of building the product or the service, I'm not real good at building it. So I find partners that can build things good to work with for me.
When did you realize that like operations was kind of your thing? Was it just because you had done in so many other businesses and you're like, that's what I like? I think
just more had to do it, and I learned I kind of like it. How do I operationally get things from A to Z? I just found I like that part of the business.
Yeah,
and I like figuring out how to sell things. I don't know, how do I present it and display it and share it with the market and help them want to buy it? So I kind of like that as well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so going back to your career then, what did you start after the scrapbooking business?
So then I started a community bank, which I'll most likely be only one of the people you've ever met that started a community bank.
Yeah, that's quite a shift.
Big shift, right? So I went to one of my connections in the world, and I just said, hey, if you were going to be start another business or buy a business, what would it be? And he said it'd be either a factoring company or a bank. And I said, well, tell me about both. I don't know much about either one of them. And he told me about them. I said, bank sounds interesting because everybody needs a bank. And so I looked into the banking, found out the kind of numbers, the profitability, it was a low number of employees for high profitability. I thought I liked that model. And so I became a co-founder on a bank.
That's super cool.
And it's called Prime Alliance Bank. It still exists today up in Woods Cross is the address. It's right on the border of Bountiful and Woods Cross. And it's just a one branch, very niche bank, and it focuses on equipment leasing. And we have customers, at least we did before I left, we had customers clear across the nation in almost every state.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what was the learning curve for that transition?
It was huge, Jacob. Yeah, I don't recommend it. It was a huge learning curve. The good news was we had bankers we could hire, people that had lots of experience. And again, that's team building exercise, getting the right team and putting the team together, and then executing on the plan.
That makes a lot of sense. That's cool.
Yeah, thank you.
So what happened after the banking experience?
So after the banking experience, I got into several other startups with some friends, and then my wife and I decided we wanted to serve a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So we served a 2-year mission, senior mission in Oakland, California as the visitor center directors. We did that. Then I came back, and I just liked this whole world of entrepreneurship, but I didn't want to run companies anymore because it's a lot of work. By the way, all of you founders that are watching this, I hope you know it's a ton of work. It's going to just wear you out, but it's also thrilling, exciting, and awesome. So that's why I keep going back and being a part of this whole system, because starting your own business is just cool. Being a creator is amazing in this regard. So highly recommend it, but just tell you, it's going to be tough and it's going to be tiring and really hard, and it'll test everything about you.
Good advice.
So since then, I've been doing angel investing. I've been finding that very fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I'm a mentor, I'm an angel investor, and I'm a board member, and I'm an integrator where I help connect people and help them integrate different processes and procedures. And anyway, I'm finding it really fun, and I'm able to be a parallel angel investor where I couldn't be a parallel entrepreneur, because I partner with these young, I call aspiring student entrepreneurs, ACEs, And they're the ones that go do all the hard work day to day and make sure everything happens. And then I meet with them. My commitment is to meet with them once a week for 1 to 2 hours. It's up to them, or it can be once a week for an hour and then text and emails and stuff in between. But I'm committing some time to be a mentor and be there for them. Then I also open my contact list. So anybody that's in my contact list, my LinkedIn, I'll introduce them when they need to have the right introductions. I introduce them to all my professionals. So if you need accounting, banking, marketing, those kind of things, I introduce these ACEs to those people. So it's really a big jump start to get going.
That's really cool.
I love it.
Did you have someone do that for you during your career, or because it sounds like you got a lot of experience in the mentoring realm?
I'm so glad you asked that. It's part of the reason why I like to give back is because I had so many people helping me. The first mentor I remember, and I'm sure I had lots of them before this, but the one I remember in this entrepreneurial business setting, his name was Randall, and total awesome guy. So I was just getting started with my first real business out of university, and that was Keystone Learning Systems. And I was a CEO, president. I just had lots of questions like hiring people and firing people and growing a business and locations and purchasing and savings and all the stuff that goes with being a leader of a growing company. And I just had all these questions, and I was going, man, who do I ask these questions to? And I knew that there's this one guy in my neighborhood that was a real successful entrepreneur, ran his own business, had a great reputation, and somebody said, you ought to go talk to Randall. I thought, oh man, I'm a little scared, don't know, he's real successful, I'm just a start him up guy. And anyway, I got my courage together, and I reached out to him, and I said, hey Randall, I just heard you're just really great, and I know you're successful, is there any chance you'd meet with me? And to give you a little bit of perspective, Jacob, I'm kind of an early to rise, early to bed kind of guy. Like get up at 5 in the morning, go to bed at 9, 10 o'clock at night, and start all over again the next day. And so I'm asking Randall if I can meet with him, and I tell him, whenever you can fit me in. He goes, all right, well, why don't you come over to my house on this date, and we'll meet at 11 p.m. And I'm like, 11 p.m., okay, So sure enough, I show up at his house, and I'm sure he worked a really hard, long day, and then did his father details, and then he's fitting me in at the end of his day at 11 p.m. It's just, how cool is that, really?
That's awesome.
So I showed up, and I had my list. I had written down, Jacob, a whole list of questions. These are all the things I need to know. And I just told him thanks, and we dove in, and it was Q&A for like 2 hours. We went from like 11 to 1, just back and forth. And I knew I had the right mentor because he was answering every question I had. And it was like, wow, this is so cool. So I left there and went and did a whole bunch of implementation, got a whole bunch more questions, scheduled another appointment with Randall, and we did it again, and we became lifelong friends. That's what's really cool. In fact, we just came back several weeks ago from a cruise with Randall and his wife and Sherry and I, and it was just so neat to go on that cruise and have that experience together. And so weird how we ended up also running into some 30-year-old guys, maybe the early 40s, and they're business guys, and they're wrestling with some questions, and we said, we'll be glad to meet with you. So we had a mentoring session with them on the cruise. It was great.
That's so cool. You just live and breathe mentorship.
It was so much fun. Yeah, I had a good time.
So did he help you with all of your companies, or did you find mentors for?
No, he mostly helped me with that one.
Just that one.
And then as I grew and learned, then I started getting additional mentors in other areas I needed help in. So he was super instrumental in that one.
Did he help connect you with other mentors too?
I actually don't remember on that one. I really just don't remember.
Yeah.
But he did help me with that. Another early mentor I had was another guy that ran a C-store in Spanish Fork. His name was, I think Sheldon, his first name. And anyway, I asked him if I could meet with him. He goes, yeah, but you got to come when I'm not busy. I said, hey, whenever. And he said, yeah, usually between this hour and this hour. So I met with him at a C-store. I remember a little tiny table we sat at in his C-store. And I asked him questions again, and he did Q&A with me. So those are my two early mentors that I had when I was in 25, 26, 27 time age range.
That's
so
awesome.
Really awesome. So that's where I learned to appreciate mentors, saw the value of mentors, and then later in my life I went, then I should also give back, and I should be a mentor and help young aspiring student entrepreneurs where I can.
That's cool. What do you think was the biggest pitfall that you avoided because you had a mentor?
I don't know if there's just one biggest one, to be quite frank with you, Jacob. It was just lots of pitfalls. Because when you have a mentor that's been there, done that, you can ask them about processes. You can ask them about, wow, if I'm hiring people, how do I do it the best way? What's the best way to hire people? Because in my life, you have good, better, best. And good is okay, but best is a whole lot better, and I want to do best stuff. So mentors just help me with things from all kinds of things, like banking and banking services, and the best banking services versus just okay, good banking services. So it goes on from there too, banking, accounting, etc., legal advice. If I'm in a SaaS company and I need SaaS legal advice, I want to get some of the best SaaS attorneys I can at the most affordable price I can. That's the thing I really like about iHub, and what Corbin's been able to do here is he's been able to assemble legal help to help the startups have a really entrepreneur-friendly legal experience. So those are some of the things that mentors have helped me with. And there's just lots of little things that add up. I don't know if there's any big things, but just lots of little things that have added up a lot over time.
Yeah. What do you feel like has been your favorite success?
Favorite success in business?
Yeah.
Wow. Taking care of customers and meeting their needs and having them pay me for it. I really like that part of it.
Yeah.
I like having a company that's profitable and successful that way. And then I would say the other thing is the good people I've met along the way. A lot of my most precious, treasured friendships are people I've met along my entrepreneurial business journey. And it's really cool because every one of the different businesses I've been involved in have different friendships that have been lasting, ones that have gone on past the business experience.
Yeah. So how have you taken these business relationships and then deepened them?
Wow. Well, it's like any relationship, you have to spend time with them. And so I try to do things like do outings with them, go to lunches with them on a regular or periodic basis. When it makes sense, we'll do business together still. For example, Randall, my mentor, we still do investments together. We have investment together right now. And so that's some of the things that I would say are.
Yeah, is he part of your fund right now? Your angel fund?
No, he's not part of that, but we do these other hard money lending investments. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, that's really cool. I think what's really cool about your journey is you've touched so many different industries.
It's been really fun.
Been able to learn so much from I don't know. That's so cool to me, honestly.
Yeah, it kind of makes me a jack of all trades, master of none concept.
Yeah.
But I do have a lot of experiences from different places.
That's cool. So with you changing industries so much, how did you know that you found the right mentor?
Oh boy, that is a very insightful question. So some of the things I realized is that all mentors aren't made equally, Jacob. And I learned early in my career that I was going for any mentor. When I was in my early 20s, anybody that's ran a business and they've been successful at it, and my definition of success was they were having profits and growing and that kind of stuff. And so any mentor would be good for me. But then I learned as I matured and had more and more experiences, it's like, wow, if I can find people in my industry and then mentor with them and have them advise me, it's so much more valuable because it's relevant in my industry and it's applicable in my industry. And that's helped me a lot. And then as I've been being a mentor, I started realizing that, okay, as I'm working with these younger people, especially in the last 3 or 4 years, as I'm working with these younger people that are wanting to get into business and be they want to be a founder and start a company, I started realizing that they are being mentored by others, and they're talking to family and friends and people they know that have run businesses, and they're really taking whatever they say as gospel truth. Like, oh, he said this, and I'm like going, I'm not so sure I buy into that, but okay. And then I started realizing I gotta also help them realize mentorship's incredible, but they also need to realize that all mentors aren't made equal. And so I started thinking, okay, what can these young people relate to? Yeah, okay. What they can relate to is 5 stars. We do 5-star ratings of all kinds of stuff, right? That's the current thing is we do 5 stars or 5 circles or whatever.
Yeah.
So I said, all right, let's do a relationship here. So let's say we've got 5-star mentors, and we have mentors that are like a 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, and 5-star. And I tell people right now, even here at iHub, I share with them. I say, look, out of a 5-star rating, if you're going to give me a rating today, I believe, because you're in an industry I've never been in. I've never been in this industry. I've never sold shoes, for example. So I know nothing about selling shoes.
Yeah.
So I'm probably a 1 or 2 or 3-star mentor for you because I have good general experience. I've grown businesses successfully. I've had product businesses, and I've sold them and closed them and made money on businesses. So I'm probably some kind of medium mentor for you. However, what would be ideal for you is somebody that's currently in the shoe industry. They've actually started from scratch. They created a brand, and they're making a bunch of money with it. Maybe they're multi-millionaire people, and they're doing really, really good. I'd say that's like a 4-star mentor because they really can teach you the ropes A to Z from the startup phase to worth millions of dollars in the shoe industry. Now, one more level of being to be a 5-star mentor, they actually sold the business and made millions of dollars in the sale of the business. Now, to me, that's a 5-star mentor for that specific founder.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That makes total sense. Yeah.
I'm so glad because it makes sense to me that you don't want to weight all of your mentors equally. You need to be careful what advice you take and accept and incorporate into your business because everybody's experience is different. In fact, I tell a lot of the founders that I'm mentoring with, I say, look, you have to understand, I'm going to try to teach you principles and not a recipe of if you do this, 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 and this, you'll be successful. Because I don't really know if that's actually going to work in your industry, and timing's different. It's been a long time since I've been in the training industry. It's been a long time since I've hauled garbage. I just don't know because of time difference, and I've not been in your industry. And so I want to teach you time-tested, proven principles. And that's one of the things I've learned by being in lots of different industries, Jacob, is that business principles don't really change from industry to industry, but there are cultural differences, there are unique things in each industry that you have to take into account, and I have to learn those really fast. I mean, the banking was the biggest learning curve because they had a whole new world of acronyms, they had a whole new world of rules that you have to play by. They had government regulators that you had to learn how that whole thing worked. So that was a huge learning curve compared to my other businesses that I've been in. So anyway, that's just the concept is I like as a mentor to teach principles and not try to say, boy, if you do it like I did it, you'll be successful because it's just different.
That makes sense. So I like just the kind of the criteria you gave for knowing that you found a good mentor, like a 5-star mentor. How do you actually go about finding the 5-star mentor for you? Because that's a very individual thing, right?
It really is. And that's one of the things that I love about iHub is that Corbin has actually been out assimilating a whole bunch of mentors. I don't even know what number he's at now, but I know it's in the hundreds.
I think it's over 200 now.
So let's say he's
It's
200
insane.
plus mentors. The odds are one of those is going to be in your industry. They have experience in your industry. And odds are they're going to be in that at least a 3-star, maybe a 4-star, and if you're lucky, a 5-star kind of mentor. And Corbin's already done the hard work. He went out and found them. All you got to do is identify them in the mentor group that's here by looking at their profiles, looking them up online, look at their LinkedIn. Personally, I think you should do a little bit of homework and say, wow, I'm looking for this kind of person. Let's go look at their LinkedIn. Let's go look at this, this, and this and try to figure it out. And that's how I would start.
Yeah.
And then I would look in the industry and start doing some Google searches and say, who's in this industry? And you have to be a salesperson. You have to go out and talk to people and say, hey, would you mind being a mentor for me? I just have questions about the industry. Would you mind giving back and helping me out? By the way, if you're a student founder, I would play the student card all the time. Say, hey, I'm a student at this university. I could really use your help. And it looks like to me you'd be the perfect mentor for me. So play your student card while you can.
That's some good advice, honestly. It's cool to see how many doors can open when you have like a student status.
Absolutely. And there's alumni that want to give back. They
Yeah.
realize that, hey, I was a student once and I like helping students. I want to help people be successful. So I would suggest that.
Did you ever find any mentors through your education? You said you went to school and you ran a business at the same time.
Yeah, so professors were really helpful as being a mentor early on. And I wish I would have had contacts into the alumni. And I still don't use that contact, except for I know it's there. If I need to use it, I could. But if I was a student now, looking back, I would be talking to the Alumni Association, because you're going to become one as soon as you graduate. You say, hey, I'm alumni now, and I'd really like to be able to connect with the other alumni and be able to network with the ones that have gone before me. That'd be another great way to find mentors, I think.
Yeah,
I haven't done it, but I think it'd work.
And especially, I feel like that would help you find people in your industry too.
Absolutely.
Right. They've got a very organized system when it comes to alumni, usually for most schools. So.
Yeah, so there you go. Tap into that.
That's cool. Well, what would you say is probably the biggest lesson that you've learned in your entire career? What would be the biggest piece of advice you'd give to entrepreneurs?
Find those mentors that can be 4 and 5-star mentors for you, because somebody that's been there, done that, and that will help you navigate and get there as quickly as possible is super, super valuable. In fact, that to me is one of the main ingredients for iHub and their success here, is assimilating a really strong portfolio of mentors. However, it's really important, so I'm going to talk to you founders directly. It's really important for you to be prepared when you go to meet with mentors. Have your list of questions ready for the mentor and do your homework on the mentor. Find out about them. Look them up. I know some of you call it stalking, but go out and learn from them on their social media. Look, on, of course, on LinkedIn. Do some Google searches, some AI searches. Learn what you can about the mentor before you meet with them, and have a list of questions and be ready to bullet through those questions. And then always make sure you have an attitude of gratitude. Tell them thank you. Maybe send them a thank you card, a thank you email. Give them a review on LinkedIn and let people know that this person helped me out, and give a positive recommendation for them. Just those kind of things really go a long ways.
Yeah. Well, Clint, I really appreciate you taking the time to meet with me. Where can people go to learn more about you, or to contact you, or I don't know?
Oh,
Where can people
I
go?
try to
learn
make it
about you?
really easy. It's called ClintArgyle.com.
Oh, nice.
You can go right out there and learn about me a little bit. You can learn some more about me on the doinggoodfoundation.org website. LinkedIn, I try to keep my profile current there. So that'd be the best way to learn about me. And of course, iHub, if you want to schedule a mentoring session with me, I'm on their schedule. I come in once a week and I'm available for mentoring.
Awesome. Well, hey, thank you for joining me today.
You're so welcome, Jacob. It's been a pleasure.